God bless you. What troubles you?
Sir, I'm afraid I have some bad news. We came across a burnt-out farm near Merhoyed.
Toth must have left some of his cronies behind.
Now, this is something else, sir. We found a shield there with a crest. A tricolour star on a blue field.
I know that coat of arms, unfortunately. It's the House of Zul.
There was a letter there, too.
Show it to me. Although I think I already know what it will say.
Here you are, sir.
Unscrupulous beast. Cruelty and malevolence. I challenge you to face me in a duel, defend your honor. Antinomious wretch. Well, that's nice. Signed, Hagen Zul. As I expected, old grievances coming back to haunt me.
This Sir Hagen wants to challenge you to a duel.
Apparently, he still hopes I will agree to this kind of outmoded solution to disputes.
But surely you can't refuse a challenge to a duel. What about your honor?
Henry, my boy, honor is a splendid thing, and it should be held in high regard. But in time, you'll learn that some matters are not so straightforward.
Like this one?
Yes, like this one. The only reason Hagen is challenging me now is that he has a marked advantage. I've served as the royal hetman for the last 15 years and become a courtier. Hagen, meanwhile, was fighting in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia and elsewhere as a mercenary. Which of us do you think would win a duel? That's not honor, but an abuse of honor. Commonplace opportunism. I don't blame him for trying, but I'm not such a fool as to play by his rules.
What happened between you and Sir Hagen?
That's a long story.
Well, I'd like to hear the whole story, sir, if you wouldn't mind.
Very well. It began in the first year of King Wenceslas's reign. He sent me to resolve a dispute between the Zuls and a neighboring house. It concerned land boundaries. The Zuls had refused to accept the ruling of the land court. His Majesty's position was a little shaky after his coronation. So a decision was made in the royal court to take radical action against any dissent in the kingdom. Since the Zul family was defying the king, we were obliged to punish them. Harshly, as the circumstances demanded. The head of the family, Hagen's father, was hanged, their castle razed to the ground and their property confiscated.
So, they're out for vengeance. But you acted according to the law.
Would it were that simple, lad. I was young and didn't realize the repercussions it would bring. For one thing, the king didn't use it to strengthen his position. On the contrary, he took less and less interest in such affairs.
How come?
Because he realized things would eventually sort themselves out. He promoted me to royal hetman, leaving him to pursue other interests. Secondly, my actions essentially created another band of robbers. When you strip a nobleman of his property, you can't expect him to take to begging. And thirdly, I wasn't aware at the time that the other party to the dispute was distantly related to me. Naturally, that made it look like I was acting in self-interest. If I'd known what I know today, I'd have been a lot more circumspect.
Well, what are we going to do about this?
You and Kuno's band will just have to deal with Hagen and prevent further mayhem. The longer he's marauding around these parts, the greater the chances that I'll finally have to succumb to his conditions.
So you'd fight him, if it came to that?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But maybe there's something else behind this challenge. Maybe it's coin he's after. Who knows?
All right. We'll deal with him, sir.
I'm sure you will, Henry.
I'd like to ask something about this Sir Hagen.
Sure. God be with you.
Come here, I want to ask you something. Hey, Henry, I'd like a word with you. God be with you, Henry. Henry, come here. I'd been to see Sir Radzig.
So how did he take the news?
Well, he wasn't exactly happy about it.
I can well imagine. I wouldn't want the Zulus plundering my estates either. If I had any.
He wants us to carry on patrolling the area. There's nothing else for it.
That makes sense. I don't think he'll come to us. So we'll just have to hope we run into him. I'd like to check out the big forest to the north, and then carry on via Ujits.
Sure.
Mount up then, and let's go.
Come here, I want to ask you something.
Please, can we stop for a bit? My arse is aching, and I've such a thirst I could drink a moat dry.
Same here.
Now, what do you say, Chief?
Not to worry. We'll reach Ujits soon. We'll spend the night there.
I heard they've got a peculiar priest there. They say he drinks like the devil himself.
There's nothing strange about that. Every other man of the cloth is a swill pot.
Or a licher.
Or both.
Quiet. Listen.
For the love of God, help! Please. Please, sir. Help me.
Don't worry, lass. Nothing to fear. We're with Sir Radzig, in the manner of speaking. What's the matter?
These brigands came. The menfolk fled and left us there. They started pillaging the place, drinking whatever they could find and smashing things. I ran off, but the other girls... You've got to save them. Please, I beg you.
Easy, lass. Drinking, you say?
Aye, sir. They rolled the casks into the courtyard and started swilling like pigs from a trough.
Well, as our old cook used to say, if you want to make a proper goulash, you should soak the meat in ale for a while to soften it first.
Ah, let them get well soaked, and then go and chop them up. Good thinking, Chief.
But what about the girls? Those men, they were...
Ah, I'm sure your friends won't be getting nothing they ain't had before.
Well, unless they be nuns.
Kuno, the girls... If we delay, her friends will pay the price.
I appreciate your advice, Henry, but it's caution that'll keep you alive, not chivalrous deeds.
Well, I did what I could. Have it your way, then.
I will. And unless you want to rush to your grave, you should do the same. Right. By now, they'll all be drunk as lords. Let's go!
Who wants their back covered?
My right arm is stiff since last night. Cover that side for me. Someone in the wrist dangler. And best to take off the corners first, so as not to do yourself an injury. Still, it's always good to have your helmet well polished before battle. Thanks for the invaluable advice, brothers.
I'll watch your right side then, yeah?
Thanks, Jakey.
Fuck. What's up, brother? Heart in your mouth. Fuck. It's a sign from God, Peter. A foretaste of what we'll do with the liquid loot we take from the blood. I wanted to charge them with
They'll be shitting themselves.
I'll slay you, you scum! Poor fuck.
Good work, lads.
So, where's those damsels we so recently rescued?
game. I'll lend you my dice.
We'll just have a friendly bout. No blood, I promise. Or at least not much.
Come and talk to us, lad. So you'll have some tales to run to Radzig with.
Henry, fancy throwing some dice?
Dangler. Dangly. Dangler. I like you the best out of the whole lot.
A little friendly game. What do you say?
We'll just have a friendly bout. No blood, I promise.
Except Jesus. Maybe they poisoned a well. But that one over by St. Bartholomew's, we used to sit there every day. I'd have noticed that. The water stank, anyway. The whole fucking Elbe stinks. Especially by the mill. But the mill maids there. Jesus. How come mill maids are always so pretty? That's a funny thing. Because the mill hands. Now they were a pack of fuckers. And we all belonged to the Millers Guild. They say the ugly girls jump into the mill race, so the wheel will mill them into pretty men. I don't know about you, but I'd go with one of them girls. I would. Young bodies, but experience, you know. No fucking...
Come and have a game.
Which reminds me.
Promise I won't
Did I
cheat.
tell you about the time St. Clair appeared to me? Ah, fuck. You're not listening anyway.
Up for a game?
Always. I've got some nice little items to wager. What do you say?
Well, that depends what you have.
I've got a shield, a jupon, and a very fine embroidered hat. The shield's got the Rickfald crest, a nice piece, handles well, and tough enough to take quite a battering. Then I've got this combat jupon. Not only does it look good, but it'll help keep your skin in one piece. And then there's this noble hat. It's not a lot of use on the battlefield, but if you want to look elegant around town, it'll certainly make a big impression on folk. And the girls will be fainting at your feet.
This charlatan in college lived in a house on the road to Frankfurt. He claimed he could read people's minds. Then this other charlatan came to town and settled on the other
Well,
side.
from the sounds of it, with a hat like that, I could rule the world. I'll play you for it.
All right, but what will you wager? You'll have to make it worth my while. After all, Fine things like these here don't just grow on trees.
See, because the other fella would be thinking, he'd be...
This should be enough, right?
That'll do me. Let's play.
Sit down and have a drink with us before it's all gone. Free people at the table. I hope no one expects me to tell some entertaining anecdote from my travels. All right, Dave, take it easy. Just fix your eyes on your own taste. Like that time in my helmet. Remember how you let on and didn't see that's happened? Lovely black hair sheer. Like a raven's wing. Don't see that often. Probably repulsive. Talks to you.
I've decided what to build. I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
With all the woods around, we ought to keep bees here. There's always a demand for honey.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building. All right. I'll muster the labor. Come with me.
We're going to build here.
Indeed. Can we begin?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. All good. We can start construction.
I'm sick. Help me, please. Please, sir. Help me.
What's happened to you?
I've walked all the way from Kuttenberg, but as you can see, I'm barefoot. My feet are frayed to the bone. Don't you have a strip of clean cloth for me, good sir? So I can swathe my feet at least.
Penitents ought to go barefoot. Don't you know that?
But I'm not a penitent, sir. I'm just poor.
And you're poor because you're a sinner. Don't you know that God rewards the just and punishes the sinners?
I know that, but...
No buts. God has punished you for your sins, so you ought to bear your poverty as your just penance.
You're a cruel one, lad. Don't let me delay you. I'd best wait for a more generous soul. I see a tape! Guard! Help! Arrest that thief!
So, are you happy with your new cook, Merchant Hagen?
Happy? It's a fucking nightmare.
Well, what's the matter? I chose her according to my best knowledge and conscience.
She certainly knows how to cook. Her food is excellent. But her stories...
Stories?
More like sermons, actually. All about the evils of Mammon, how Jesus threw the merchants out of the temple and whatnot. And it's all Father Francis this, Father Francis that. No doubt, Father Francis was a saint with infinite patience.
Well, the main thing is she knows how to cook, isn't it?
True. Her trout braised in wine with spices. Honestly fit for a king, I must admit. And she can manage all the housework. Perhaps in time she'll lose interest in preaching. I hope.
So, it seems things worked out well enough, didn't they?
Well, I asked for a cook. You sent me one, but...
Exactly. I did what you asked. So, about my reward.
Do you really think you deserve one?
Of course I do.
All right, then. Here you are. Good luck to you.